हे एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। कैसे हैं आप लोग? मैं ठीक ठाक हूँ। आज हम मुझे देखने वाला है करीना गोस्वामी की। आप लोग मुझे काफ़ी बोल रहे थे देखने के लिए, और मैंने काफ़ी मैंने लास्ट ईयर की थी जब मेरे चैनल नया था, बेबी चैनल था, और 1 साल हो गया मुझे शुरू किए हुए, तो तभी मैंने शायद 1-2 की थी, उसके बाद नहीं की। तो आप लोग मुझे अभी बोल रहे हो कि वीडियो देखने के लिए, तो पहले वीडियो देखते हैं, उसके बाद बातें करेंगे।
2008, China is struck by a major earthquake.
Oh yeah.
India offers $5 million to China for its relief activities for the victims of the earthquake.
Aww.
2005, Pakistan is struck by an earthquake. India offers $25 million to the Pakistani government as a cash assistance, along with $15 million in in-kind contributions from both private and governmental sources. 2010, Pakistan is suffering from massive floods. This time, India offers $25 million to Pakistan to help the victims of flood. Again, India comes to the rescue of its so-called arch rival. 2005, an Indian Air Force aircraft arrives at the Little Rock Air Force Base in Arkansas in the USA. It is carrying 25 tons of relief supplies for victims of Hurricane Katrina. On multiple occasions, Sri Lanka has received humanitarian assistance from India worth more than $120 million. In March 2017, it was revealed that India had been a net donor of foreign aid in the last 3 years. It had provided more aid to foreign countries than it had received.
Wow.
Not only that, in 2004, when India was itself affected by a tsunami, it still went on to send help to other nations like Thailand, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. It deployed 14 Navy vessels, nearly 1,000 military personnel, and several dozen helicopters and airplanes to Sri Lanka. It does not matter what part of the world it is, Africa, America, or anywhere else. If there is a crisis, India is often seen as the first country responding to it. During the 2010 Yemen crisis, more than 25 countries asked for help from India to rescue their citizens and help them to evacuate. Germany, USA, Sweden, France, just to name a few. As recently as 2015, India extricated nearly 2,000 nationals who belonged to 48 different countries, including many from the United States, the European Union, and its neighboring countries. In most cases, it is India's Navy, its Air Force, its national airline, and its Ministry of External Affairs which handle such operations. It does not matter whether it is a high-risk conflict zone or a post-natural disaster area. India is always there for the nations suffering from a crisis. Apart from providing cash assistance, food assistance, and humanitarian assistance, it also partners many nations in post-calamity recovery and in various development projects. India has 279 lines of credit, which are worth $28 billion in 62 nations in Africa, Asia, Latin America, the Caribbean, and Oceania. Of this, 254 projects aggregating nearly $4.7 billion have been completed, while 194 projects worth nearly $19 billion are under implementation. Whether it is search and rescue missions or more uncommon situations like combating piracy in the Gulf of Aden, where India sent almost 30 warships, escorting more than 1,500 ships and blocking nearly 30 piracy attempts. Its army is globally admired for its humanitarian nature and for its potency. How many of us know that the Reserve Bank of India provided financial assistance to the governments of Maldives, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka when they faced foreign currency liquidity shortage? How many of us know that India is one of the largest contributors to the United Nations peacekeeping missions? Whether it is Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, or Nepal, in post-conflict scenarios, India is often seen extending its long-term support to facilitate reconstruction and stabilization. In South Asia, if any crisis emerges and if people fear for their lives, they look to India first, a nation which since time immemorial has provided a sanctuary to those affected by any type of persecution.
Yeah.
The UN has even praised India's efforts by citing its refugee policy as a moral for other
पारसी और
countries.
Jewish को especially इसके बारे में मुझे आप लोगों ने
Whenever a country asks India to mediate and help in reaching peaceful settlements, India plays a constructive role. Its experts provide technical assistance to other countries in designing new constitutions and also in helping them to hold elections smoothly. Globally, India is involved in assisting other countries in infrastructure development. But what makes India even more special is its keenness to help other countries to become self-dependent in the long run. A good example of that is India's Pan-African e-network, which was built at a cost of $125 million and encompasses more than 48 African nations, bridging the digital divide and providing top-quality education and training. It was the brainchild of former Indian President APJ Abdul Kalam. India also provides scholarships to many foreign nationals, and in 2011, during the India-Africa Forum Summit, it pledged $5 billion in aid to Africa in the form of concessional loans. And let us not forget that globally, most countries are beneficiaries of India's cheap medicinal drugs, which have saved millions of lives. India's style of foreign aid is quite different to the Western countries, which generally provide conditional aid. India respects the sovereignty of other countries, and unlike many other nations, Indian aid programs are not designed to interfere with the beneficiary's domestic policies or his demographics. India's cultural and spiritual values are all about humanitarianism. India believes in the selfless nature of giving. India's foundational wisdom of universal brotherhood is reflected in its actions. See you again.
Hey guys, ये थी वीडियो कैसी लगी आपको? मुझे बहुत पसंद आई, इतनी सूदिंग थी। सबसे पहले मुझे ये कहना पड़ेगा, वो वैसे ही देख के तुम्हारे अंदर का ह्यूमिलिटी जो भी सेल्फ है वो जाग रहा था। अमेजिंग वीडियो थी, मुझे बहुत पसंद आई। मुझे सबसे काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें थी, मैं ये कहूँगी 70% जिसके बारे में मुझे नहीं पता था। आई एम श्योर कि काफ़ी सारे लोगों को नहीं पता होगा। इतनी एड, और वो जैसे लास्ट पॉइंट था, कंडीशंस होती है कुछ एड्स की, और उसमें भी कोई मसला नहीं, बट एनीवे वो थोड़ा बिजनेसी टाइप की होती है। वो ये नहीं होता कि प्योर ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए कर रहे होते हो। काफ़ी सारे कंट्रीज़ वो भी करते हैं, बट मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि इतने सारे जो हुए हैं, सारे जो डिफरेंट